Oh, hey folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're watching WGS-TV. Tough guy.
You have warped your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm the WrestleGamer WB Emily Boudreaux, and before I get the Monday Night Raw review started, I just want to bring you guys up to speed on what happened. I know there was a couple of you guys out there who actually were tuned in live to the review and sent in a comment about why the stream was stopped so suddenly. And what had happened is that the modem over here decided to not want to be cooperative and decided to break. So we ended up having to go out to the store, buy a brand new modem. Everything's a-okay now. And since the review is a day late here, I'm just going to fly solo on this one to get it out of the way quickly. So I do apologize for that, guys and gals, but hopefully there'll be no more interruptions with the internet service over here, so everything will be fine. So let's get to the Monday Night Raw review. We opened up with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns in their little confrontation to start building to at that time, the triple threat main event. Now, when I say at that time, something does happen during the show, but I'll get to that point and talk about that when I get to that point. The New Day would start coming out. And so per the order of King, there's going to be a 3-on-2 handicap match. And I guess they really needed to do a little bit something to kind of start building up the match more. And with the outcome of this match, with Reigns mistakenly spearing Randy Orton, allowing Kofi Kingston to pick up the win, I think it does that. You know, when you think about traditional wrestling logic, and 99% of the time in WWE, it does not apply. That the way they did the outcome actually makes perfect sense. What did not make perfect sense was the segment following this with Ryback and Bray Wyatt. Now, for the past few weeks, we saw, ever since WrestleMania, we've been seeing cryptic promo after cryptic promo of Bray Wyatt addressing someone. And last week, when the cable was out, due to the storms that we had last week, it was revealed to be Ryback. Now, Ryback would kind of respond in his usual way, taking negativities, eating them, and turning them into positives, which is actually a good outlook on life, if you think about it. And basically, he said talking time was over. It's feeding time, and Bray Wyatt would once again another cryptic promo, but we know it was directed at Ryback. Now, what did he say? Let's just say, with him being billed from being from Lafayette, Louisiana, which is about 15, 20 miles, 25 miles from where I live, we don't all talk like that. I just want to make that point obvious, that we don't all talk like Bray Wyatt. Now, I might be a little rotund like Bray Wyatt, but I don't have the beard, the Duck Dynasty beard. And you know what would be really funny is to see him on Duck Dynasty. I wonder if that'll ever happen. Following that, we'd have Tyson, Kidd, and Cesaro taking on the Ascension. I am very, very disappointed with what WWE Creative is doing with the Ascension, because they were such a dominant-looking tag team on NXT. They brought them up to the main roster, and unfortunately, they have been lost in what I like to call the mid-card shuffle. They were great in NXT, but apparently the main roster and WWE Creative and Vince McMahon decided to throw up a big middle finger and say, you know what, Ascension, we don't think you're as good as you were in NXT, and we're not going to put you over as good as you were in NXT. I think the Ascension, Viktor and Connor, are just as good as talent, but they're not being put over properly. They're not. They were a dominant tag team. They were they were great in NXT, and why WWE and the creative and the main roster decided to throw up a big middle finger and say, you know what, the Ascension, you're not as good as you were in NXT. It just baffles me. It really does. Now, Kane would make a rematch for from SmackDown with Seth Rollins taking on Dean Ambrose, and with an added stipulation that if Ambrose would win, he would be in the Payback main event, and it would thus become a a fatal four-way. Now, why this match wasn't main event, I don't know. And there was one particular spot, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about, when they did the big clothesline, or as Ashley, the Stanley Man Ashley likes to call the Nigel McGuinness clothesline. When Rollins did the flip around, he came down on his neck and his shoulder, and it did not look good. But however, the outcome would, of course, when my twin sister was watching it Monday night, would send her into screams of joy and cheer and adulation, and I don't even want to go speculate further as to why she was also screaming at that point. But Ambrose, she's looking at me right now.
Talking about Mr. Sexy Pants, huh?
Oh God! Anyway, J&J Security would bungle everything, and Ambrose with Schoolboy Rollins pick up the win, and thus be added to the main event at Payback. Rusev and Fandango, or Fandango, as we like to say in the South. I think the main thing to take away about this is the rise in popularity that Lana is getting, especially when she started to do, the Fandangoing. She was like that, and the crowd went nuts about it. And of course, Rusev, being the heel, decided that it's time for you to go back to the back, and that's exactly what Rusev did. Then he would lock on the accolade on Fandango to pick up the win. And I'm just wondering that could this be the start of the downfall of Fandangoing? R-Truth and Stardust. My first question about this match is why. I can understand that if it's a rematch from the King of the Ring, but the finish of the match made absolutely no sense. Apparently Stardust brought out a bag of fake spiders, and with R-Truth having his arachnophobia, decided that to be scared of that, and Stardust would Schoolboy him and pick up the win. John Cena's, again, to this day, I will never understand why there is so much hatred on a good worker like John Cena. I'll never understand it. People say he sucks. They say he can't wrestle. My question to you, the haters, can you wrestle? Obvious flaw in your hatred. You want to chant John Cena can't wrestle, but you can't wrestle either. So you have no right to say that this person can't wrestle when you can't either. Of course, he would have his John Cena Open Challenge for the United States Championship. And first off, Bret Hart, they're in Montreal. Bret Hart would come out to first make an announcement, then you get interrupted by Heath Slater. Slater would run his cocky mouth as usual, and then get knocked out by Bret Hart. Then Bret Hart made a stunning announcement as to who John Cena's opponent was going to be. And it was Sami Zayn, and man, did the Montreal crowd go nuts. Now, I'm not going to mad dog Sami Zayn because I'm actually a fan of Sami Zayn, and I'm glad to see him on the main roster. But with him being kind of enthralled in the storyline on NXT of him and Kevin Owens, it got me to thinking, wasn't Owens also from Montreal, Canada? And that would be kind of something to see right there if they really would have played up that NXT storyline of Zayn versus Owens on Monday Night Raw. But I think the key thing to take away from this is that you saw Sami Zayn in his hometown on a Monday Night Raw deliver a 5-star quality match with someone the caliber of John Cena. It was an amazing match. Now, there's been some speculation about an injury that took place while Zayn was wrestling John Cena. It might have been on the Saito suplex spot. It's a back suplex for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about and you don't know your history. And I've yet to see any kind of reports, but then again, this is as of this recording, my first time on the internet today. So I'm going to look more into that, and maybe I can try to get some information for you guys and report on that as soon as I can get it. But John Cena would hit the AA on Sami Zayn to retain the championship and then give Zayn the props that he deserves. And could this be a sign, guys and gals, of Sami Zayn being moved up to the main roster? Oh, and bravo to whoever was feeding Michael Cole Sami Zayn's moveset through his headset. Because I know for damn sure that Michael Cole didn't know a damn thing about Sami Zayn. You know, and because it's been proven in the past that Michael Cole forgets moves. But he did not forget, like, the Blue Thunder Bomb, the Kanji Clutch. Now, they never did get around to the point of the Haluva Kick. But I'm pretty sure that if he would have attempted that, then somebody would have told him on the headset that, Michael Cole, that's the Haluva Kick. We would have a tag match next. Sheamus and King Barrett taking on Neville and Dom Ziggler. I kind of missed the majority of this match because I had to step out for... I'm not going to say why, but because you guys don't need to know. But let's just say it was some stomach issues. And I would come back to see Neville attempt a springboard maneuver on King Barrett. Barrett would counter with the bullhammer elbow and pick up the win for Sheamus and King Barrett. And the finale of Monday Night Raw this week, it was Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. They wanted to make a match about this. And it was just basically kind of what I expected it to be when I saw the Authority come out there. The Authority would come out, start beating down Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. And now the fact that Dean Ambrose is in there, he came out, and not only did he make the save, but he kind of hit the Dirty D's on Randy Orton. And that's pretty much how they would close out Monday Night Raw this week. So very interesting Monday Night Raw, to say the least, guys and gals. My overall score on Raw this week is going to get a 3.5 out of 5. I'm going to deduct a half a point because I do not agree with the John Cena sucks chance. But then again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is just mine. I think John Cena is a good worker. I don't think he sucks. Other people say otherwise, but they're entitled to their opinions. Best match of the night, I'm going to give it to Cena and Sami Zayn. I thought it was a really well-worked match. The crowd was definitely into it, with a honorable mention to Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, I think the whole thing with Orton and Reigns shouldn't have been the main event, but the way they played it out, they would have to have some way to find a way to insert Dean Ambrose into the storyline, and the only way to do that is to have that remarkable match they had earlier on in the evening. That would be the only sensible, logical thing that I could think of for the way they structured this, because on any other time in any other place, in my personal opinion, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins should main event and should main event anywhere, because not only are they're young and they're great, but they're over and they work really well together. That's just my personal opinion. Worst match of the night. Well, I'm looking through the match card. I thought there was a Divas match that I can't seem to recall. But I'm just going to give it to R-Truth and Stardust because I was so convoluted and didn't make any sense whatsoever. So, anyway, on that note, guys and gals, what I want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment? of Monday Night Raw this week. I definitely want to know what you guys have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to power up that like button. Be sure you check out WGS-TV on social media, on Facebook, facebook.com/WGS-TV, on Instagram at The WrestleGamer, and Twitter at The WrestleGamer. And if you haven't yet, guys, please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer for more content like this and all of my Let's Plays, which you can check out in the annotations at the end of this video, and the links will be provided in the description box below. So with that being said, I'm the WrestleGamer. Double B Emily Boudreaux saying we'll see you at the next Warp Zone. Oh my God!
God almighty.
Oh, my head.